I'm on mute. Oh, okay. Good morning to all of you on Zoom land. Here in Kendal Hall, we have about almost half capacity of people who are spaced out. Thank you. And I'm glad that you have come. And thank you to all of you who are out there. I want to thank Judy and her dining staff for providing the nice scones again and the lovely breakfast. So it was wonderful last month when there were so many people in here, because to me, Kendal is a community, and I love it when we can even physically get together in one place. But for a while, we're kind of going this away instead of this away, but we're going to keep on working through COVID and seeing how we could keep on doing things that we love to do and keep safe at the same time. So let's begin with a moment of quiet, please. Thank you. We are always eager to hear from you, Jan. So we'll have you come up. Then we're going to have marketing talk. And then I've asked Judy Kurtz for dining to give a little bit of an update of what we're doing. And I've asked Brittany Smith to come here again to remind us again some of the safety regulations here, because it's kind of gone this way over some residents' heads. So it's just good for us to keep on having reminders. So Jan, please. Just be careful.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing out there? Good. Okay. Doing well in here? Good. All right, got some thumbs up. Good. All right, so I got new contacts because I needed to see far away better. Now I can't see close. So, you know, it's fun getting old, isn't it? All right, so I want to preface this report by saying I'm really tired of talking about COVID, and I'm really tired about talking about Nielsen, but the show must go on. So I'm going to talk about COVID, and I'm going to talk about Nielsen. So we have had 2 positive staff tests, as you all well know. They were both vaccinated, but the most recent testing on Friday did provide us with our week 1 of clean testing. So we must have, yes, that's an applause. Yes, thank you. We will test again this Friday. And if that's clean, then we are technically out of outbreak testing. But our Rockbridge numbers have doubled in the past 2 weeks. So that means we're seeing more and more cases. So that also means that since we are now in the red, we have to test our unvaccinated staff twice a week. So I highly recommend that you wear your masks. And I'm saying that not because I'm your mother, but truly our numbers are skyrocketing here, and we still have quite a few anti-vaxxers out in Rockbridge County. So if you're out and about, you can't socially distance, please make sure you're wearing your masks. You have to take that protection. As you know, we've decided to mandate the vaccine for all staff. We do believe that we will lose approximately 7-8 staff members due to that vaccine mandate, but we continue to encourage and work with staff as well. We are currently at 85% vaccinated. We have quite a few people that are soon or did just get their second vaccine. So once that 2 weeks after the second vaccine comes to fruition, we will definitely have a higher number, probably closer to 91%. October 15th is the deadline for staff to be fully vaccinated so that we don't term their employment with us. 2-pipe system. So the 2-pipe system conversion is going forward. We have started that. Julia will be working with Jennifer to ensure that those that are affected by that 2-pipe conversion have timely notifications and that you continue to know what's going on. Right now, they're doing a lot of the work outside, but once they start to come in and it starts to affect folks in the apartments, we will definitely let you know what's going on. We've also completed 2 other projects that I want you all to know about. One is we have added ultraviolet lights to our air systems here, and that will help preserve the equipment as well as cleaner air. We've also installed phenomenal air is what the system is called, and it's like an air scrubber. So 2 things we have done to really take into consideration this building, the apartments, to make sure that it's cleaner air and that we are doing what we can do to prevent the COVID spread. So 2 good things that have happened for us. That phenomenal air system was close to 80,000, but we really did feel that it needed to be done and will keep us a bit safer. The 3 North update, those are the folks that we've asked to do our landscape land use project. They held their charrette, and I do believe it was quite successful, a lot of fun. Thank you to those who participated in that. It was a full day. I know you were exhausted, but it was well worth it. A lot of good information came out of that. The original selection committee had a Zoom with 3 North to review some of those results, and we were very pleased with those high-level results and the direction that 3 North is going. So more to come on that subject. Project 3, our phase 3 project. We have notified Nielsen that we have contracted with 2 other contractors to finish the landscaping for the Sunrise Inner Circle, Outer Circle, and Swap property, and also the Anderson Courtyard. So we have given them their walking papers basically on that part of the project. They are still responsible for getting the DEQ situation cleaned up. But if the weather cooperates, Mike Orison and Chris Leslie are the 2 that will be focusing on that area, the Sunrise Ridge area, the Swap property, the Hall Road, and the Anderson Courtyards. And if the weather cooperates, we are hopeful that we will be completed with that on or around the first part of November. Budget. So we are knee deep into the budget. We are meeting with all department heads this week and next to firm up our operational capital expenses, as well as our capital requests, as well as operational expenses. Felicia has actually started to run some numbers on staff compensation and benefit changes for 2022. The things that we are focused on and need to continue to be focused on are wage increases due to market changes. So we've seen a lot of market changes. The $15 an hour minimum wage, the wage compression that comes when you increase wages for those coming in, and for those who have for the new recruits. We must find a way, though, have to absolutely find a way to award the staff that has been with us through thick and thin. And as you well know, the last year has been very thin. So they are still here with us, and we need to find ways to look at that wage compression and move them up as well. We are beginning to create the 3-year capital budget plan so that we know current and future needs. It is a bit daunting for the CLT team. They're catching on, and we're moving forward with doing that. It's going to benefit us in the end. So we're still trying to understand what we absolutely need and then what we can push off for 2 or 3 years. So it's not a pretty picture for 2022. From a budget perspective at this point. We do need to balance the dollars with the expectations, and we will do our absolute best to prioritize. I know many of you submitted ideas for capital. Thank you for doing that. But we do need to find ways to decrease spending and increase our revenue. So that's really our focus this year, next year, and 2022 and 2023. Last but not least, Kendal will be moving to a new vendor, and this is Kendal Corporation. We'll be moving to a new vendor to do our satisfaction surveys for our residents. We're using the same company to do our staff surveys as well. It's called We Care Connect. You will be receiving more information in the very near future about that but I wanted to give you a heads up. So those surveys could start as early as within the next couple of weeks. They will be done by email, text, and or phone. The surveys will not be anonymous, and we're doing that for a very good reason. This company can do these surveys and get leadership a very quick feedback. So issues that are occurring that you're suggesting we change things, or issues that have come up, we'll be able to deal with those much quicker and a bit of a more proactive than waiting for, every year to do a survey here and there. So we really want to hear from you. We appreciate the feedback, good and bad, but stay tuned for more information. I did just want to give you a heads up that was coming. The company is We Care Connect, and we hope to hear from all of you. So questions? No questions? Anyone have any questions? Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
can you give us an update on booster, and also what about the regular flu vaccine?
Sure. Can I give you an update on the booster for COVID and the regular flu? We have ordered the flu vaccines. We are going to try to get Kroger or CVS to come in like you have done in the past and give the IL residents the flu shot. As far as the booster, I don't know if you've been reading what I've been reading, but one day it's good, the next day, no, it's not good. So I've heard absolutely nothing on boosters other than what you've read. So don't know when that will be happening. I do know that a lot of, my husband went to the doctor the other day and they said, do you want your COVID booster? So he didn't get it because he's not due yet, 8 months out. But so some of the doctor's offices are not asking whether you're immunocompromised or not. So talk to your doctor. That's my best advice to you. Anita, question?
You had mentioned wearing masks when we're out and about, which sort of is a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. What about here on campus?
So the question was, I mentioned wearing masks when we're out and about. What about on campus? I highly suggest you wear your masks.
Thank you.
We're not mandating it, but I highly suggest you wear your masks. Vaccinated people are spreading it as well. So you all read what I read. New York Times is full of it. And, every ICU bed's taken and people are dying. So other questions? I cannot see Zoom land, so I don't know if there's questions. Any other questions in this room for me? Yes. Sir.
I have a question. Webster and Gordon, they can come out to us, but we cannot go in there. What is the difference there?
So Webster and Borden, we're in outbreak right now. So the outbreak because of our 2 positives. So we are restricting visitation. So we are not putting people back into Webster and Borden, but we're not secluding Webster folks from coming out and about.
In Zoom land, if you have a question, just unmute yourself and ask it now. Looks so good. Katie's monitoring it
Okay.
too. So
All right, good. No more questions. Thank you, everyone.
this habit again. Wipe the microphone here. All right, I'll have Katie either come in here, Katie, or if you got your audio to work. I'm not talking to you yet. Okay, good morning, everyone. I was talking to Katie in Zoom land, so I know it can be confusing. Busy times from a what we have available perspective. You know, this year we've done 7 closings. We have one going to happen in a couple weeks and a couple more scheduled. So we're already at 10 closing, which surpasses what the budget predicted. But in addition to that, we have another 8 residences that are open now. So in addition to the 2 that are closing, at the end of this year. We have another one that's reserved for 2022, but then that leaves us 7 that we're looking for reservations. We have strong verbal holds on 2 of them, and we're working on the others. Most of them have just come available to us in the last couple of weeks. So it's early now, and it takes the team a while to work through our wait list. But please, as you always do, encourage your friends that we do have some openings now. And I think it'd be a great time for folks to move in. The only other thing I want to mention is that we are planning an open house tour for October 6th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we're going to be requesting that 10 residents help us by opening up their homes, from apartments to cottages to Sycamore to Sunrise Ridge to South Building. And we'll invite our prospective residents to come and tour those homes. Of course, if something happens with COVID, we'll have to cancel. But for now, we think we can safely come through with that. Our folks will be vaccinated, masks, we'll take all that precaution. But if you see folks around on October 6th from afar, please wave to them. And if you know folks who maybe aren't ready to, call marketing and have that 2-hour meeting and tour, this is a good opportunity for you to say, hey, why don't you just come for this tour and take a look at what we have to offer. So Katie, come on up.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone on Zoom land again, but it's nice to see the faces in the audience too. I wanted to start by welcoming Ursula Keeley. She just moved here from Lexington to apartment 9 in the South Building. Kevin and I had both been staying busy, but we had seen tours kind of slack off some. People aren't willing to travel as much, but we still did 8 tours. 7 of those were with local people, and 1 was from North Garden, Virginia. We continue to do all of our communications. This month, we still had over 1,000 contacts, so those emails, phone calls, and otherwise. So like Jessica said, thank you all for sending your friends our way. Please continue to do so, and we look forward to getting all these spaces filled. Thanks.
Who's next?
Cooties. I don't have cooties. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good morning. Can you see me? Dining update. I don't have too much to tell you. We are continuing serving 2 meals, ice cream. The only change this week will be that the grill will be closing today. I'm kind of happy about that since I've been grilled for the last 3 days. But we will open every Wednesday for those of you who get a hankering for a hamburger or a cheeseburger or something like that going forward. In my last update to you all, I did say that I was hopeful that we would be getting more applications. I did get an application yesterday afternoon for a sous chef, so that's a very positive thing. He does live in Lynchburg, so I'll meet with him on Monday at 2. And I did get a couple of utility and dietary aids applications that I'll be meeting with throughout the course of the next week. The only other change I'd like to bring up is starting next month, and I'll post this periodically and I'll add it to the shopping list. You Sunrise Ridge folks love to shop till you drop. It's killing me. So we're going to take the 3rd week, Friday, the 3rd week of the month, and do 200 Sunrise Ridge for pickup. 4th week, we'll do 300. So I'm just kind of splitting you up a little bit so to try and level out the workload, because I think this Friday is the 3rd Friday. I have 5 grocery orders. The last week of the month, I think I have 30. So I'm just trying to make it all level. If any of you need any points, information, be reminded, you can get that at the register at any time. If you need to know where you stand currently. If I buy dinner and I say I'd like my points, my dinner has already been taken out. If I buy lunch and I come back at dinner, my lunch has already been taken out. It's that fast. So other than that, I don't have too many other updates. Does anybody have any questions for me here in Kendal Hall? Wow. Oh, Nancy, I thought I got away with it.
I've been disappointed that the cafe hasn't been stocked with muffins and cookies and milk. And that's been that way for quite a few days. And
Okay, so the question is, why is the cafe not have been stocked with muffins, cookies, and milk? Muffins, I know we did order and they did not come in. We don't put cookies out there traditionally all the time. But there should definitely be milk out there, so I will keep an eye on that. The grill person in between lunch and dinner is typically making sandwiches to stock that. That grill person has been me, and I have other duties to attend to, so maybe there has been a miss there. But we'll get back on track with that right away. Thank you. Anybody from Zoom land? I see one person. Okay, well, thank you all. Here's Brittany.
Good morning. So I'll start off with asking, who in the room is wearing your pet? All right, so we strongly encourage you all to be wearing your pets. This is how, if you have an emergency or if you have a need that a nurse needs to attend to, we know where you are, who needs that help. So a couple of months ago, back in June, Karen, Danielle, and we did our emergency education, but just to reiterate a few things about pets. If you have an emergency, we want you to push your pet, but also call 911. If you're having chest pains, if you have fallen and you think you might have broken something, go ahead and call 911, because keep in mind, if a staff member reports to your apartment or cottage, we're very limited on what that nurse can do. We can do basic first aid and really just assist. A nurse can't practice outside of her scope. With your pet, make sure you press it in the center. Sometimes we have folks say, I pressed my pet and nobody came, but we're not getting a response that we need to attend to you. So make sure you're pressing that. If you have an emergency and you press your pet here in Kendal Hall, stay in Kendal Hall. It's going to tell us to come here, not to your apartment or wherever you may have walked to. So the GPS is going to tell us that you're in need to come to Kendal Hall. Trying to think what else you may need. And our goal is to respond within 10 minutes of you pressing that pet, but just keep in mind that the nurse may be with someone else. So it may take us a little longer. That's why we encourage you to call 911 if it's really an emergency. But really just kind of a quick reminder of how that process works. Do you all have any questions regarding pets or emergency response? Any questions on Zoom? I'm only seeing one person, so I'm assuming not.
Thank you. I think it's always helpful to hear from our staff and administration and what it is that's going on. I assure you, everyone is really trying. And if everything isn't just perfect and how it's going, I'm sorry, we're trying. They are trying. Kirby, did you wish to add anything to the meeting this morning? If you do, you've got to come up here. Okay. Seeing Herbie reminds me about some of the suggestions that you all submit. I know we've been concerned about our sound system for a long time. And yesterday we had a meeting that Herbie had arranged, Jeff actually had arranged with a sound technician from Harrisonburg and Burrell. John South and I attended the meeting, and we were telling him some of the issues that we experience here. Like if I turn now towards that speaker, it would squeal. So we were talking about different things like this, and it turned out that the technician also can take care of lighting. So that is in this year's budget. And so we are hoping that it is possible. We realize that there are hiccups all the way down the supply chain for people and for goods in terms of making changes and adjustments, but it's on the road. In terms of, I wanted to follow up a little bit with what Jan was saying about the budget process. And I wanted to tell you residents about what has gone on from our perspective. You all received this form, and it's called 2022 Budget Suggestions Residents Request. This is a sizable packet of papers that you submitted with a wide range of different suggestions. Forgive me. So the process is, these were submitted to Felicia because she's the one that sent out the paper for the budget request. And we got all of these requests back. The next step is to pass all of these on to the Residents Council. Residents Council interns, I had a packet, and each one of the members of the Residents Council, 7 of us, looked at these. Then we gathered together and looked at these thoughtfully about what the requests are, and from the perspective of what we feel are from our side of things, what are the priorities? And we did not put them in a rank order. We felt that all of these are important things. So the summary of what it was that we are turning over to administration is that Kendal seeks to incorporate green energy and sustainability in as many ways as possible, replacing older equipment and installation of solar panels when possible, purchasing a new, safe, and operable bus to replace the 22-year-old bus, implement some of the recommendations from the land use plan, which 3 North will be submitting, and also is important increasing staff salaries, which, as you heard from Jan just now, is going to happen, and increasing the capital reserve. Because let's assume that there's only a given amount of money that can go to capital expenditures, putting it all one place or all another place probably isn't the best thing for all of us. We sort of spreading it around to something, and it's something that we in effect cannot determine. That's for administration to try to balance out. Because the bottom line is we're paying for all of this. There's different sources of income, but the bottom line is we're paying for it. And they're keeping this in mind also, even though some of us really think that this should be done or that should be done. Let's also remember that it all costs money. So I wanted to update you on how that process works. Next item is you've been very kind in sending your contributions to replenish the funds for the Residents Association. We still have, there's still time to do it. Our recommendation, and you can certainly do more than this, is $50 per resident. And this is what funds our committees and our programs and all of this. And we really do need the money in order to carry on the residential committee work that we have here at Kendal. I think we all appreciate and enjoy what it is that we do through our efforts. So it does take some money. And again, we have 4 fundraising events per year for residents. And 2 times a year, it's for the Staff Appreciation Fund. One time is the fellowship fund, and that's in February. And this time of year is when we ask for funds to replenish the budget for the Residents Association. So it can seem like a lot of requests, but there's a purpose for each one and a good reason for each one of these. So thank you for your support, and we look forward to more activities next year. Speaking of money, I'd like to remind you that our committee conveners and people on all of our committees, over 100 of you, that now is also the time of the year that we're looking at the Residents Association budget for next year. So please, in your committee work, put together what you would like. Maybe there's some dream things that you would like to see. And so put those together and get those to Beth Knapp, the resident council treasurer, and those will be considered by resident council. Resident council, unfortunately, Bill Fulton resigned as vice president of the residents council. The other remaining members of resident council, we checked the red book, and our bylaws say that in the event that we have a resignation or someone resigns, that what resident council then selects someone to fill the remaining term. So yesterday we did rapid emails, and we have asked Paul Cormier if he would fill in for the remainder of the year as the vice president for the resident council, and he has agreed. So we thank you, Paul. In terms of Jan announcing what we are seeing in terms of progress here on the campus, the courtyard is looking better already with what's being done out there. And I must say, many of us attended yesterday the concert by Susie and some of our residents in the High Wheelers. And I think that we've discovered another venue on our campus that really works nicely. And I think let's keep exploring. Let's keep finding ways to do as much as we can, even given COVID. I know it used to be that we would have newcomers come to our residences and have a drink and then eat in the restaurant. But you know, there's other ways to get to know each other. And we have a lot of new residents. And let's think about asking some of the new residences to maybe sit on our porch or to meet on the patio and to get to know each other that way. Or maybe a newcomer as someone who's been here a little bit longer. But let's keep on looking for ways that we can still do the things that we really enjoy. And we're coming up to a couple months of really nice weather. So let's think of what else we can do out on our deck and down on our courtyard so that we can keep having fun. Okay. Now, any of you, oh, you do. What's your question?
I've been sitting here and looking around, and I see lights, much more light than we need to see you or see each other. Why do we have all of these lights for a meeting?
All the what?
Lights,
Oh,
saying they're too many lights.
Or we turn off something, so that they can see without.
well, you know what? I think that the lighting will go better for those that are in Zoom land. And we won't have them on for a long time. How's that? Then we'll turn them off. Any other questions for the Residents Association? We have some committee reports too. Okay, all right. In order, we're going to hear from Doreen Folsom-Logan, who is with Volunteer Engagement. We're going to hear from Sustainability, Anita James and Robin Potter. Paul Cormier is going to talk about upcoming Cne events, and then I have a couple more to add at the end. So here we go. Doreen.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here to remind you of the volunteer fair that's going to be on October 29th from 1 to 4 right here in Kendal Hall. And we're hoping that it will go forward. COVID doesn't stop us. I wanted to tell you about the different groups who are coming for the fair. They want to give you information and they have hopes that maybe you might volunteer for them. The Rockbridge Regional Library, Boxerwood, Hospice, Project Horizon, Roots and Shoots, Meals on Wheels, Rah, Youth Alliance Initiative, RAC, Natural Bridge State Park, Rockbridge County Schools, Lime Kiln, Borden and Webster, Main Street Lexington, Walker Program, Rockbridge Historical Society, Rockbridge SPCA, Habitat for Humanity, Stonewall Jackson House, Forever Friends, Rockbridge Area YMCA. Now, I know that, not that many people will be wanting to volunteer for these groups, but I hope that you will come and just learn about what they are doing. And there's going to be refreshments. We're even having a popcorn machine, and there will be some prizes too. So I hope you will come. Thank you.
Good morning. I know you're tired of seeing me up here every month talking about sustainability issues, but sustainability doesn't go away unless we tend to it. And so we need to talk about it. So pretty quickly this morning, you will be reading in the next issue of Connections, and you will also be getting other information about asking for your suggestions for how we can conserve energy. So electricity, water, gas. We've given you some suggestions, but we know that collectively you have more ideas than any small group does. And so there will be a mechanism that will be detailed. Bob Bradish is writing that up so that you can provide suggestions for how we might save energy. For instance, the question about, do we need all of those lights back there when we might only need the lights up here for the people in Zoom land? So that's a reasonable question. Second thing, update on trucks. Thank you all so much, and that's the folks in Zoom land and all of you here, for saving your plastic film and putting it in one of the containers. As of yesterday, we have collected 357 pounds of plastic film since June 1st. And that's because of you. So we're on track. So those folks who said, oh, good Lord, 6 months and 500 pounds, there's not a snowflake's chance that we can do that. Well, we are. And we're doing it because of you. So please keep doing it. If you need refreshers on what's to be included, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to give you something in print so that you'll know that. Let me just ask before I ask Robin to come up. Are there questions about either of those things that I've mentioned? Carol.
After you collect the 500 pounds, will we continue to do this?
Well, I haven't talked about it. The question was, will we continue to do this after the November 30th end of the first 6-month period? My preference, and this is mine, not the Sustainability Committee at this point, because we have not discussed it or achieved consensus. I would continue doing it. If nothing else, even if we didn't get a bench, we keep that plastic out of the landfill where it's going to take decades or centuries to degrade. So my answer, Carol, would be yes, if we continue, because Trex has said we can continue to get a bench each time after each 6-month period. So, when we run out of places to put benches, then we can share them with other partners in the community, like Boxerwood, for instance. And that's just a for instance. So I think if you get in the habit of doing it, why would I ask you to stop? Other questions? Okay, Robin.
Good morning, everybody. Roadside trash pickup. I know you're all excited about that. October 2nd is the date we're headed for, with a rain date of October 9th. And I've just put up a sign-up sheet in the hallway going down to the dining room. So please join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it was really the salary and benefit package that Diane offered me that I finally decided, well, I'll have to accept. But, you know, I don't know what a vice president does, as long as Diane stays in focus every month. Hopefully I won't have to do too much before the end of the year. Anyway, the Culture and Entertainment Committee did meet this month, and we've come up with a few exciting things to do. Of course, today, 26 of us are getting on the bus or driving cars. We're going to Clifton Forge to tour the Masonic Theater, and we're having dinner at Cafe Michelle. Of course, anytime I put Cafe Michelle on the agenda, we get a good response, and we'll continue doing that because there's a lot of things going on in Clifton Forge that we can do in the future. So that is today. Hopefully everyone remembers. And of course, the next 3 Wednesdays, starting next week, we have Kendal College. And so that will be at 4:30 as opposed to our normal Wednesday potpourri at 4:30 and not 4 o'clock. And then next Thursday, the September 23rd, you don't have to remember this stuff. We are going to Southern Virginia University, and we are going to the play Mind Swap. It's a comedy about spying before World War II. So anything that SVU puts on is excellent, whether it's a concert, a play, a musical. They do fabulous work there. We are going to buy 15 tickets, which would accommodate the bus. And of course, if anybody else wants to go, they can go online and buy their own tickets. So we'll be posting that shortly. And then we decided we're going to go out to dinner every month. Of course, this month we're going to Cafe Michelle, and next month we're going to Napa Thai in town. We can almost walk there, but it's an excellent Thai restaurant. We've been before, so we're going to do that in October. And then there's an unusual thing. There's a Buddhist monastery here in Rockbridge County. I don't know where it is, but Dorothy Sherman knows where it is, and she's quite familiar with that. And we're going to take a trip to the Buddhist monastery for their Sunday morning services. And so we'll be sending up a notice on that. And that'll be in October 24th. And then we're heading to Stanton, to the Stanton Musical Festival. There's going to be a Bach and Handel concert in Sunday afternoon, October 24th. And anytime we go out of town, we try to find a place to have dinner. And so we're going to arrange to have dinner at the Blue Point Grill, which is, I guess, just across the street from the Trinity Episcopal Church, which is where the concert will be held. And I understand it's a beautiful, beautiful church with Tiffany windows. So that'll be an exciting trip as well. And then when we finish all that, we'll go back to our Wednesday potpourri at 4, and we'll continue our tour of the national parks of Ken Burns. We're up to part 3 of the 6-part series, so we still have a ways to go, but we'll start that again in early October as well. That's what we have on the agenda. Hope you keep alert to all the on the Cne bulletin board, so you know what's going on. And we'll also have the bulletin board next to Brittany's office, that small bulletin board, because there's a lot of activities going on in town or in the area that we're not going to sponsor specifically, but we want you people to know that if you want to go and do that, like there's a concert on Sunday, I think, an organ concert at the Presbyterian Church. We're not going to sponsor that, but you're certainly welcome to go to that Sunday. So we're going to be posting things like that on the small bulletin board next to Brittany's office. So you'll know, keep you aware of what's going on in town. Thank you. It's still good or is that no good?
We're wiping the mic between different speakers to keep safer. I want to remind you, do check bulletin boards and do check the alcove. There are community events that are listed, posted in the alcove. The alcove is where the copier is for residents. Always, if you're doing committee work, you can use that copier free. If you're doing your own personal copying on that, you can. It's 5 cents a piece. It's only black and white, but it keeps chugging along. And as Paul said, check the bulletin board for the the C&E committee activities, and actually there's a fitness trip to Carter's Mountain too that's posted there. That's on the side bulletin board that's along the railing of going down to the dining room. Keep on checking so that you stay informed. I think that the committees and the staff try to keep people informed, but we need to do our part and stay informed and read things, go to meetings, learn about safety, learn about emergencies, and all of those sorts of things so that we can be better residents. Now, we have done this really quickly today in comparison to some meetings. I want to say that I asked 3 different board members to come and talk a little bit about themselves. And for one reason or another, they weren't able to, but next month, Bob Hutch, who is the chair of the board's finance committee, will be here since we will still be in budgeting at that time. Herbie is sitting right here in front of me. I bet Herbie is just dying to say something. Herbie, you don't need to, but I bet you are.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, good morning, everybody out in Zoom land. Obviously, just a little information. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of things happening. The VRF 2 pipe conversion project is well on its way. A lot of behind the scenes things are being done right now. We'll continue to get information out to residents as we get closer to impacting or affecting residents per floor. We also got the land swap, the Sunrise Ridge, the courtyard area, all that's kind of in motion now as well. We got the landscaping plan for Sunrise Ridge that's kind of starting to get ready to kick off itself too. So a lot of projects in the makings. The other good news, and it seems like every time I say this, it comes back to get me, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Facility wise, on our staffing side is looking much better. We've been able to interview, and we have a few staff members in the pipeline over the next couple of weeks that will be starting with Kendal, which will be close to fulfilling the team of housekeeping. And currently right now, our maintenance staff is full staffed again, obviously. Again, I hope I don't jinx myself or jinx us by saying that too early. But now we just got to get everybody trained up and get them comfortable, get those spaces out there for you guys to know who's new on the property, who you could see coming in and out of your cottages, make sure you guys are comfortable. So we've got that relationship to work on over the next couple of months, but I look forward to it, and hopefully things will start to settle down for us on the facility side. So go team. Other than that, that's really all I got.
Thanks, Herbie. I don't know about Zoom land. Questions here in the hall? Yes, Kate.
It has the gasoline bus been repaired?
I don't know about the bus.
Sorry, should I ask questions first before I left? But they're still waiting on the part. I just was in contact with them yesterday. The shipping right now, they do not actually have it in hand, but it's in shipping.
For the bus.
For the bus, for the gas bus. Yes.
You probably are well aware of the fact that right now in the fitness center, in the locker room and the pool, there are issues. Nothing wrong with the pool, but the pool hall was like 100 degrees this morning. assume that they're working on that situation. We had to open all the doors and put fans on them for our instructor could not have given the class.
It was like a sauna.
The other issue, of course, is the showers, and we talk about conservation of resources, particularly water. In order to get hot water in one of those showers, you're running that water for 4 to 5 minutes before it gets hot. And I think that's not a good thing. I don't know how that can be dealt with, but it's a problem.
Okay, so the question was, the fitness room was well over temperature this morning. The pool. So the pool area was well over temperature. The maintenance staff is looking into that. I know they've called National Pools to take a look at the pool itself and see if they can figure out what's going on down there. As far as the hot water, I know the maintenance guys have been looking. I think we found that a pump was gone bad. Because that is part of a loop system, so you should not be waiting that long. So I know they've got one ordered. So that should get resolved soon.
Thank you. Kirby, you did mention the other shower.
Kirby, the mechanical building, I walk by every morning, is always completely on, no one there. It appears to me that it's been that way all night, night after night after night. Fully illuminated and no need to have that happen. So it's a lot of waste electricity.
Okay, and we're talking about the new maintenance building?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question was lights being left on down at the new maintenance building overnight. I will have a conversation with the staff to make sure that they're being turned off at night before they leave.
And the pool, they also leave the light on there.
Yeah, so now the pool will have lights on. The question was, the pool also has lights left on as well. There are a certain amount of lighting that's in that pool area, fitness center area for emergency that stays on 24/7. The other is we have some, the shower rooms down at the fitness center. I believe it's the middle shower has a little crack in the subfloor of that. I have reached out to a company to see about coming in and looking at trying to get that at least repaired until we can make plans for a replacement with the budget. So, anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Herbie. Remember, you can always submit work orders, not only for your own place, but for the common spaces that we are using. We're using it, seeing it more frequently than maintenance. And I do hope that maintenance always pays attention, but it was really good to hear about the pipe pump that has been ordered in order to get more hot water, because yeah, I've run into that too. Okay, with that, we are going to be adjourned. We thank you again for the good breakfast, Judy, and your dining staff, and enjoy some time together and look for creative ways for keeping on doing what we'd like to do. Thank you. Still haven't done, Carol Lee, I still haven't done the resident council minutes. I will go, I'll go do them right now. You have had a lot going on. I got so nice, you know, we just passed it and it's. We have this finish, he really misses. And so, yeah, I just think that's here. And we're going to move on. So I feel much better. You know. It's hard to remember.
It is, especially when you just react. We have all this emotion. David's always telling me, you know, before you send an email or